Cool. Welcome back to the show. Welcome back to the podcast. This is the Kevin Rice Show. You're with me. You made it to the show. You made it to the podcast. Best podcast. One of the best podcasts. one of the pretty good podcasts that are out there, of the millions of podcasts that are out there. Today, I'm going to answer some fan mail questions. I've never done this before. If you do something long enough, if you practice your art long enough, if you put out your content long enough and stick with it, if you do your paintings, you play your music, you write your songs, you perform publicly, if you do your thing long enough, eventually you're gonna get some fans. You're gonna get some fans. It's a really weird thing. It's a weird thing, and I'm just now starting to go through that. I'm just now starting to experience it. Get some regular listeners. Get some people who like what you're doing, who give you props, who give you some feedback. You start to get some fans. It's kind of cool. And so over the summer, I finally started getting some fan mail and some cool questions. And so I'm going to try to address some of those questions, try to answer some of those. But y'all know me. I am super rambly and ranty and ravey. And so we'll see how many questions we can get through. If I didn't get to your fan mail question, I'm sorry. I'm thinking about it, and maybe I'll address them all in a blog or something. But thanks for sending them in. That's really cool. That's really cool. I appreciate that. Yeah, and just on that same note, like, don't give up. I know you might not be doing your art just to get fans. You might not be involved in your trade and your craft on a regular basis just to get fans. But if you're good at what you do and you stick with what you're doing, you'll start to get some. Another thing about podcasting and performing and hosting and acting and modeling and all these types, there's plenty of room for everybody. Just a little encouragement for you. If you're thinking about doing something public, doing something where you put your opinion out there and you perform a little bit, maybe comedy, maybe acting, maybe writing, whether you're writing scripts or you're writing for a TV show, or you're writing books, or you're writing poetry, or just a blog, there's plenty of room for everybody. Don't let that thing where you say, I don't want to start a podcast, I don't want to start a YouTube channel, I don't want to start writing because there's so much out there. There's plenty of room. There's a big enough market. There's plenty of room for everyone to go do something, to do something interesting. And if it makes you happy and you feel it, and it kind of gives you a great hobby and some therapy, helps you work through your shit, go fucking do it. There's plenty of room for everybody. There's room for more podcasts, even though podcasts are one of the fastest growing forms of media. YouTube channel is one of the fastest growing forms of media. There's plenty of room for you. Go do it. And one of the crazy things is you'll start getting some fans. You'll start getting some listeners. You'll start getting some subscribers. That's kind of a cool thing. So don't give up. Don't give up. Okay, the first fan mail question comes from Aunt M. Aunt M writes, do you work out? What's your workout deal? That's a good question. You're either asking that because you're either asking that and it's like a compliment to me, like, oh goddamn, dude, you look good. Like, what are you doing to work out? What are you doing to look so strong? And can you give me some tips? You're either giving me a compliment, or you're like, damn, Kev, do you even work out? Do you even lift, bro? Do you even cardio, bro? You might be saying, man, I'm looking at you. You should work out. Yeah, let me give you some advice. Anyway, great question. I did one podcast about my diet journey, and you can check it out. It's really cool. It talks about all the different things I've gone through and trying different diets and trying to figure out what feels right and what's the best. You can listen to that podcast. But my workout journey has been just as crazy. Right now, I'm not lifting weights. I'm not working out. I run a couple times a week. I try to hike a bunch. But I just got really burned out on lifting weights. I got burned out on going to the gym. I got burned out on that whole culture and that whole scene. So I'm not doing that. Even though I think I should. I totally think I should. I like the way I look when my muscle is bigger and stronger. I like the look of muscle tone from top to bottom. I like the look of strong muscles in everybody, men, women. That's something I'm attracted to. That's something I like. I like the way I look better when I do have more muscle. Right now, I don't. I'm really, really thin right now. I'm really kind of like runner form. It does feel good to run when you're super light. When you're lightweight, it feels a lot better. You can run farther, jump higher, be faster. When you're lighter, when you kind of add some of that muscle, it doesn't feel as good for me. Some people love it. So right now I'm not lifting weights. I'm not doing any of that shit. I'm naturally pretty lean. I gain all my weight in my like gut and my love handles, my goddamn love handles. Man, if there's one thing I could get rid of, it'd be my love handles. That's so tough. The love handles are so tough to get rid of. Yeah, so I'm not lifting weights. In the past, I've tried it all. There was a season where I got into weightlifting and I got massive. I got huge. I can do it. You have to eat so much. You have to eat so much food. You have to eat so many calories to add that muscle, to build and kind of get that foundation going and stack onto your frame. And so right now I'm just kind of doing the lean thing. I'm trying to do the lean thing. I'm not always good at it. I cheat all the time. I drink whiskey and beer. And just this weekend I ate so much bullshit food I shouldn't have. Didn't feel good about it in my heart and in my mind. I didn't feel good. But I've gone through those seasons. I hit the weights hard for like 3 years and got really big. And my nickname was Captain America. And it was really fun. And it's kind of cool to get all that attention. Like people are constantly noticing and complimenting you on your hard work. Yeah, so I got really big and kind of did the muscle man thing. But it's a lot of work. It's a lot of prep. But it's really expensive. It's a ton of work. It's you know what I hated the most? I hated the most about getting like big muscle and working out. I can make the sacrifice on finances. I can make the sacrifice on time. I hated how much you have to eat. Eating for me is not, I love to eat good food and drink good wine and drink good whiskey and beer. You know, for me, the worst part of it wasn't spending a ton of extra money on supplements and extra food and just kind of filling my body with that. It wasn't the time. It takes a lot of time. You got to put a lot of time and effort and planning into adding muscle, like adding good weight to your body. It's really complicated and technical. It wasn't all that. It was just the eating. I fucking hated the eating. I felt like I was always stuffing myself full of food. And you never get that hungry feeling. If you listen to some of my other podcasts, I love the feeling of being hungry. I love the feeling of where your body kicks in and starts working and doing shit and saying, man, I'm hungry now and I'm surviving and here's what I have to do to feel hungry and here's all the chemistry and the shit that's happening when you're hungry. I love that feeling. I don't like feeling full and bloated all the time. And that in the bodybuilding world, I just hated it. I hated it. Even though it was fun to get some attention and get some props and to look, really good, I hated just constantly stuffing myself full of food. So that sucked. That's the reason I got out of that and that hassle. And I'm willing to sacrifice those other things just to feel better and to feel leaner and to have that energy of like feeling your body be hungry and work and be leaned out. So that's one of the reasons I got rid of that. I've tried doing just really light weights before. I like that. Right now, I'm just in this phase of just trying to find a new thing, trying to find a new workout. If you got any tips, any suggestions, give me some in the comments. Give me some suggestions. What's working for you? Working out. I do think psychologically and in my mind and in like fighting depression and anxiety, being super active and having a workout routine is so helpful. It's that thing where no matter what shit is happening in life, no matter how bad work went, how bad your dreams are going, how bad your relationships are, when you work out, you feel like you did something good that day. Man, you made some progress. Remember, we always talk about progress being connected to happiness. You make some progress. And no matter how fucked up your day was, if you started the day with a good workout, man, you're off to a great start. There's a lot of people I look up to and admire who they start every day early in the morning with a workout. So that no matter what else happens, they've had a success. They've moved forward in life. They've done something good for their body and their soul and their mind, and they've had their me time. And I love that. You can control that thing. And so that's one of to me, the big benefits of working out. I'm a little bit fucked up right now. I'm going through some shit and I need to get back onto a routine. So thank you for this question, Aunt M. And I hope you meant it as a compliment. If not, I don't really care. I just thank you for the question. I thank you for the question. All right, the next question comes from Caitlin. Caitlin says, are you dating anyone and what's your current dating experience? Thank you, Caitlin. Are you available? Are you? No. That's great. Dating is such a crazy topic. first of all, I'm not seeing anyone seriously. So if you're listening to this and we recently went on a date, it's not serious. It's not serious. I'm not in like a committed relationship. I'm not in a partnership right now. I guess you could say I'm in the dating world, in the dating scene. So that's a really good question. I think we should tweak the terms of this though. Like people say, are you dating? Are you going on dates? I hate that terminology because really what we're talking about is meeting people. Like if you're dating, you found somebody and you're practicing dating. We're going on dates. We're getting to know each other. We're trying to build a relationship. But really what it is meeting. It's meeting people. I'm going to start saying that to people. I'm going to be like, hey, are you meeting anyone? Are you meeting any cool dudes? Are you meeting any cool ladies? It's meeting people because that's really the fucking weirdest, hardest, most awkward, strangest, coolest, most exciting part is the meeting. And how do you meet people? How do you meet people? I've discovered, I was in a long-term relationship before, and I've discovered that it's all about how we meet people. So for example, I think there's 3 realms of how you meet people. One realm is apps. Of course, like right now you can use an app to help meet somebody. You can meet friends, you can do meetups to go hiking, you can do meetups to go mountain biking, meetups to go fishing, people who are interested in the same kind of games. You could play Dungeons and Dragons. You could get together and watch movies. There's all kinds of clubs and meeting apps. Then there's dating apps where you can meet people. So that's one realm. That's one realm of meeting. That's, by the way, the worst. That's the fucking worst. And I'm not saying this as a hypocrite because I try it. I try the dating apps all the time. They're the worst. Everybody lies. Everybody is just bullshitting the whole time. Everyone lies about their age. They lie about their weight. They lie about their height. They lie about their, experience in life. Everyone just lies. Like it's so funny. I went on this one date and this lady, this woman, she did this thing in her pictures where I guess there's these apps where you can make your eyes bigger. You can augment the size of your eyes and make, having bigger eyes is apparently really attractive. And she made her eyes really huge. And I thought something was up in her picture, but it looked kind of cool. And when I met her in life, she had these really tiny eyes. And no offense, tiny-eyed lady, I still thought you were pretty. You just had tiny eyes. You had real tiny eyes. But people just lie. And they try to, my guess is that on dating apps and apps where you meet people, you try to get hook, line, and sinker. Like you get somebody in and then you can convince them, you lie about all the shit and then you could convince them in the real world, okay, you just stick with me. If I can just lie my way through this app and I can just get the meeting with you, I know face to face, you'll fall in love with me. It's like I'm going to lie about my height and my age and my success level. I'm going to lie about all the shit. And when you see me, you're going to be really disappointed for a few minutes, but I can win you back. I can win you back. I don't know what the fuck. No, it's no good to lie on dating apps, people. It's no good to lie. It doesn't do you any help. So the apps are one place where you can meet people. To me, that's the worst. It's so awkward. It's just not organic. Like how do you fucking really get to decide from an app, from like a sterile app, on your computer, on your phone, whatever, if this is someone you got a chemical connection with, you got some chemistry, you got some chemistry. It's the energy of chemistry. It's just super tough to do. So that's one way to meet people. It's the worst. It's the worst. Okay. I like the other realm of meeting people, that like organic day-to-day thing. Like the people who are in your lives on a regular basis. College is a great place for this. You're with each other every day. Like you're sitting in class next to someone who you have a crush on. And you get to know them, you get to meet them. And it's just the familiarity of everyday life until you get to see all sides of each other. And you decide, shit, we should start dating. We kind of like each other. We kind of get along. Oh, I heard how you responded to that professor. We have the same views, okay? Oh, I've seen you show up looking good, and I've seen you show up looking like a piece of shit after a party, wearing your sweats, wearing somebody else's clothes, just all bedraggled, and I still have a crush on you. So that day-to-day experience, like in college, at work, I think that's the best place to meet somebody. Every day, a barista, your banker, that person who you see all the time, and you just kind of get to know each other, and it gets comfortable. To me, that's the best. That's the best place to meet someone. When you're attracted to somebody who's in your regular life, that's the best. God damn it, I want more of that, okay? I want more of that. There's a barista in my town that I am absolutely in love with. She's a brand new barista. and she's making espressos and mochas and lattes, and she's doing this fantastic latte art. She's so beautiful, and I love it. Like that's a fun way to meet somebody, that regularity, instead of just that cold, dating app thing. So I always call it meeting people versus dating. So there's apps, which I hate. There's that regularity of life, work, school, in your community. You're doing services in your town. You're running into each other. That's the best. The third realm is matchmaking. The third realm of meeting people is matchmaking. And that's where somebody's like, dude, my kid's teacher is single and she's really cute. You should go ask her out. And you get these references from your friends and your family. And so that's kind of matchmaking. There's like 8 different levels of matchmaking. That's the third realm of meeting people. And that's pretty cool too. That's like the second best. It's not that great. It can be a dangerous game. It can be a really fucking dangerous game when you try to matchmake people. But that's the third realm. So to answer your question, I'm not seeing anybody seriously, regularly in a committed relationship, if you will. I've done it before. I'm not in that place right now. But yeah, I'm meeting people. I'm trying to meet people. I've been traveling back and forth to LA a lot lately and doing some cool stuff in LA and some not so cool stuff in LA. And it's so refreshing. I live in a small town in Oregon, and it just like meeting people sucks. You get to know everyone real quick, and it's kind of like when you're in 5th grade and 6th grade is coming around and the summer's ending, and you're like, are we going to get any new cute girls in our class this year? Because I'm tired of all the old ones. Are we going to get, is Winnie Cooper going to finally show up? Is Kelly Kapowski going to really fucking show up this year in 6th grade? That's how it is in a small town. But when I go to travel for work or to do some things in LA that I've been doing, it's cool to be a stranger and to get in there and meet people. And it's really fun. Going to the big city and realizing that there is so many more options and there's a bigger melting pot of people to meet. Yeah, so thank you for that question, Caitlin. I really like that a lot. Let's quit calling it dating and say meeting. Like when you go out for wine with your ladies and with your bros, just be like, are you meeting anyone? How the fuck do you meet somebody? That's really the secret. But yeah, let's call it meeting. Dating it's about meeting somebody. You just can't meet any cool people. There's just no cool people. Oh, and by the way, it's okay to be picky. We always talk about happiness and self-sufficiency here on the podcast. Dude, if you're loving yourself and having a good time with yourself and enjoying your career and working on your art and your hobbies and you're moving forward in your own life, you can be really fucking picky, and it's okay to be picky. Don't settle for the pressure of society just to be with somebody. Just to be in a relationship. I know there's a lot of pressure. I know like the Walmart American market is designed around like meeting somebody and having the kids and doing the American dream. Don't fall to that pressure if you're not feeling it. I'm not saying it's bad. Like, it's a good thing for a lot of people. But don't fall to that pressure if you're not feeling it. If you're not feeling it, fuck it. Enjoy yourself and be picky. I was on a date recently, and we were really vibing. She was beautiful and smart, and she was really interested and asked me some great questions, and I really liked it. And one thing that we got into is we started talking. This is our first date. It was like, I'm in no rush to settle into a partnership because I'm enjoying life right now. So whoever comes into my life, it's got to be like icing on the cake. It's got to be really fucking awesome. Because I'm not feeling the societal pressure. Or I'm fighting the societal pressure and temptation to be in like that classic Judeo-Christian American, whatever it is, Walmart market, relationship, partnership, bullshit thing. I'm not going to fall to that temptation. One of the hard things is when you hang out with a lot of people who are in relationships, there's always this pressure. Like, one of the first questions that they're going to ask you is like, have you met anybody lately? And it's okay. No offense when they ask you that question. Don't get pissed at your friends who are married or in serious relationships or dating someone long term. They're just trying to relate from their structure, from where they're at. But yeah, be picky. Be picky. Nothing wrong with being picky, especially if you are working on yourself, working on your shit. Totally be picky. All right, I think we can get to one more question. This one comes from Jason. Jason says, "How is your acting, modeling, and comedy career going?" That's a great question. You hear me talk about that sometimes. I'll give you some updates. Part of the reason I do a podcast is I practice my performance. I practice my material. I practice my comedy. I try to work out some of the shit that I'm thinking about and some of the things that I think are important that will connect with the public, that will connect. So that's a great question, Jason. I got into modeling accidentally. I used to work behind the camera a lot. I used to help write some scripts, and I got a couple writing gigs here and there. And every time I would be on a shoot, I would always end up in front of the camera because someone, people don't show up, models or whatever can't make it. So they would throw me in there. And so I started getting a couple of different gigs and gig after gig after gig. And that was really cool. I even got a gig for Nike, and that was really fun. And just doing some photo shoots and working with some folks. I don't love it. I don't love the modeling part. I don't consider myself a model. But I'll step in and do it if the money's right, especially. Sometimes it's good money, or you get some good trades and that sort of thing. I've met some models who are really good at it. I know this lady who is an Instagram model, and she gets flown all over the world to do swimsuits, to do travel, to do tourism representation. And it's so cool. But it's a shit ton of work. Like, she gets flown to Bali all the time. And in Bali, she's out on the beach in her swimsuit. She looks amazing. But sometimes they're like 12, 14-hour days. Where you're in the hot sun, you have to keep up like this high energy. You have to, try to look sexy and smoky and keep that energy going. It's really hard work. I know a lot of people don't believe me when I say that. But I watch this woman's life, and it's super hard work. Like 12, 14-hour days are hard no matter what you're doing. And when you have to be something, you have to portray something on camera, on film or whatever, it's hard work. There's a lot of pressure. And you're listening to people always telling you, try this. Let's figure that out. Long days, long takes, multiple takes. So the modeling thing, I'm not doing that as much. I'm not fucking around with that as much. If it happens randomly, I might try it from time to time. The comedy thing, I'm always writing. I'm constantly writing. I have a challenge for myself before 2019 ends to do 1 hour of stand-up. So I want to have 1 hour of stand-up material and just kind of keep challenging myself on that. Like, comedy is really tough. It's really tough, but it's so fun. It's so fun if you can work it out, if you can get there. If you can write some original material that really sinks in, that makes sense to you, other people will think it's funny too. And so I have a accountability with myself. I'm fighting some procrastination, but I have some accountability with myself to get some comedy going. I want to try it. I'm going to start with like a 5-minute set and then a 10-minute set. And so by the end of this year, I have like an hour worth of material. So thank you for that question. Acting, I've decided to do a couple open casting calls. And that's been kind of crazy. That's been kind of fun because you got to find, in open casting calls, you have to find your kind of demographic, your place. And a lot of times when you get into this and you do it more and more and more, you figure out that what the industry wants from you is not what you want. Like, I want to be in there and get these like young lead roles, but what I'm finding out is I'm more of a support actor. I'm more of a support role. I can play dad shit. I can really get into some dad shit. I'm a dad in real life, so I understand it. I get it. I'm getting up there in age. I'm in my late 30s now. So yeah, I've got to kind of like readjust the open casting call forums that I need to go to. And I'm probably not that lead guy anymore. I got to figure out my spot. And then I think I can be more successful in that. I think I can land a few more gigs in the acting world if I kind of readjust to the market rather than, hold out for what I'm trying to hold out for. But the comedy thing is highest on my list. And I'm more into writing. I'm more into writing than all these things. So, Jason, that's a really good question. Thank you so much for bringing that up. And we've got a bunch more. People are asking me about favorite movies, TV shows, what I'm watching right now, what I'm reading, what news sites I go to. These are all really good. I'm going to try to get to them in the future. Thank you so much. And just let me encourage you. Like, keep doing what you're doing. There's room for your art. There's room for your voice. Just work on finding it. Work on finding what your voice is. Work on finding what your gift is. It's okay. Keep massaging it out and trying new things. There's room for you, and eventually you'll get some fans, and I'm living proof of it, and it's kind of fun. So thanks. This has been another podcast on The Kevin Wright Show.